taking evidence out of the Laundry family home here in Northport, Florida, all day and throughout the evening. We're also learning more about a hard drive authorities say they found in the van Brian and Gabby were driving cross country. And we're hearing from neighbors about how they say Brian and his family acted after he came home from his trip without Gabby.
That is where investigators are looking for clues into what happened to Gabby, the Long Island woman now feared dead.
Her boyfriend also now missing. News 12's Kevin Vesey has been tracking this story and has more now on the search for answers.
Well, we watched FBI agents taking evidence out of the Laundry family home here in Northport, Florida, all day and throughout the evening. We're also learning more about a hard drive authorities say they found in the van Brian and Gabby were driving cross country. And we're hearing from neighbors about how they say Brian and his family acted after he came home from his trip without Gabby. FBI agents spent the day at the Laundry family home in Northport, Florida, removing boxes and bags of evidence, searching for answers in the Gabby Petito mystery. They were also seen towing away this Ford Mustang, which was searched late last week.
We just saw a lot of chaos. It was something we've never seen before.
Neighbors Bill and Charlene Guthrie say they watched the scene unfold before their eyes. But what they found most striking was how they say Brian behaved after coming home from his trip without Gabby on September 1st, acting as if nothing had happened.
It's very strange. Since he'd been back since the first, they acted like it was a normal day. They, mother and son took a bike ride together around the neighborhood. He helped his father do some repairs in the garage.
He cut the grass.
Yeah, he mowed the grass one day, just like nothing was wrong.
News 12 also obtained this search warrant, which says authorities have a computer and a hard drive that was inside Gabby's van. As News 12 has reported, Gabby and Brian were on a road trip out west. Gabby stopped communicating with her mother in late August, and she was reported missing on September 11th. Then yesterday, the tragic update that a body resembling Gabby's was found in Wyoming. And now that Brian is missing and has been gone since last Tuesday, neighbors say they still have many unanswered questions.
We think everything, why didn't he contact the authorities when he got back here or before he left her there? What is the parents' involvement in this?
It's just beyond comprehension, the whole thing.
Now, at this point, there have been some possible sightings of Brian, but nothing definitive just yet. Police and the FBI have both remained quiet throughout the day. Meanwhile, we're hearing that the Laundry family attorney is scheduled to hold a news briefing tomorrow in Hop Hog. In Northport, Florida, Kevin Vesey, News 12, Long Island.
Thank you, Kevin. And tonight we're breaking down a newly released warrant connected to this case. Jesse, you're a lawyer, so what can you tell us about what was in these documents?
That's right, Macy. As Kevin said, it's all about that hard drive that was found in the van. So if we break it down, look, the first important thing when we talk about a search warrant is probable cause. And probable cause is when law enforcement has a reasonable belief that a crime was committed. Here they make reference to the idea of an endangered or missing person, which I got to tell you, the language of that is very interesting because what do they mention? They mention the fact that Gabby maybe was unable to take care of herself. And what that says are two different interpretations there. Number one, that she might have been a danger to herself, or at the very least, she shouldn't and couldn't have been left on her own. Now, what are they looking for in this hard drive? Well, they're looking for text messages. They're looking at email exchanges. They're looking at internet search history, which is so important in these kinds of cases because everybody leaves a digital footprint, tells a piece of the story, but also a timeline of events, a timeline of posts. Then we have to talk about the big bombshell of this text message that apparently came from Gabby's phone to her mother on August 27th, 2021, right at the time she was missing, maybe one of the last communications to her mother. And it says about Stan, a reference to, her grandfather Stan. He's calling, voicemails. That's very strange because Gabby's mother says she doesn't refer to her grandfather by Stan. Two interpretations there. One, maybe Gabby wasn't really herself. Maybe something was a bit off. Or number two, someone was using her phone, which is very common when defendants try to imitate or pretend to be their victims. Look, at the end of the day, I think we have more questions than we do have answers, but it's just another piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. And in a matter of hours, we could potentially learn new details about the suspected death of Gabby Petito. An autopsy is set to be completed.
Yeah, those remains found thousands of miles from Long Island in Wyoming. And that's where Lindsay Sablon continues our team coverage tonight.
I'm standing outside the Bridger Teton National Forest, and if you can take a look behind me, you see this U.S. Park Ranger is sitting right at the entrance of the Spread Creek campsite. We have been out here for several hours this afternoon, and that ranger's been sitting here making sure that no public goes past this point. And this is the search area where those remains were found just 24 hours ago. Along with U.S. Park Service, the FBI is out here, as well as the local county search and rescue team. When I joined you guys this morning, I was trying to explain the terrain. Well, now you can see for yourself what it looks like. A lot of it's flat, but as you go about 2.5 miles in, I'm told you start to see a lot of hills and mountains, and this is where they were combing through this area, searching for remains, still keeping it closed off today. I'm told part of the reason for that is because autopsy still has to be done tomorrow on those remains to, in fact, identify them as 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Once that autopsy is done, if it is determined that she was in fact killed, this scene behind me then potentially turns into a crime scene, and they will have to come back out here to see if she was killed, was she killed where the remains were found, or was she moved? So all of that is still developing. The FBI and the Park Service, I've reached out to both today. No one has given any developments. This is still very much a work in progress. The one thing we are hearing from is from the Petito family. They are speaking out on social media with broken hearts and saying, Gabby Petito, she touched us all.
And in the next half hour, a News 12 at 10 exclusive. A friend of Gabby Petito telling News 12 she saw two different sides of Gabby's relationship with boyfriend Brian Laundrie. You can hear those details for yourself in the next half hour here tonight.
Well, nearly 3 dozen kids on a bus involved in a crash in Suffolk. Multiple injuries were reported. News 12's Tama Ponton spoke with those who were nearby when it all unfolded. Tama.
Well, Macy, we are outside the Flanders North